Hey, good morning or afternoon or evening. Chase Cunningham and Dr. Zero Trust, whatever. Sitting in the room with one of my good friends and someone respect immensely, George Comede from the CISO Society / Confide / all the other many things you do. But we're actually talking about something really cool that you and I are getting to collaborate on. Let's sort of see what you guys have got going on your side, and we'll talk about mine too.
Absolutely. So first off, thank you for the respect. I know you don't hand it out lightly, but yes. So we both do too many things.
Way
We're
too many.
overemployed, but this one is about Demo Force and Confide and Confide's CISO community, which is called the CISO Society. So at the CISO Society, we developed a series of events called the Anti-Summit. And we basically took everything that's boring and not very entertaining about cybersecurity conferences and turned it backwards, right? So vendor sponsors get a little seat at the table. There's no expo hall, no gauntlet to run. It's really focused on questions of program and practice and just rolling up your sleeves, right? You don't get to sit in a dark theater and check your email and get expenses paid for it. But to that effect, we also wanted to provide a different vendor experience. And contrary to what most people believe, CISOs do actually want to get their hands on product. They'll sit through demos because that's part of the industry game. But if we can give them a chance to touch and feel and move the mouse on their own rather than through a pre-recorded demo, they'll 100% take it. So I reached out to you because I thought, what better venue than the Anti-Summit to bring something together that we're calling the Vendor Arcade, which instead of your usual expo hall where you're doing a song and dance, you actually get to walk security practitioners and leaders through how do the workflows work in your tool? Where will they see the detections? How will they remediate it? And just a better hands-on experience. So we're really excited for it, but also excited for you to tell us also a little bit more about how Demo Force works.
Yeah, so Demo Force literally came out of my own misery, which is where I think innovation truly occurs.
100%. Yes.
Yeah, so back up a couple of years, I was consulting at a company, but the deal was I wasn't allowed to demo their product. That had to be their guy. Now, if you've ever tried to do demos, logistical bullshit ensues. Shenanigans 101.
Yes.
You can never get the right guy. The CISO's busy. My cat's taking vacation. Like whatever the hell is going to get in the way. We lost deals because I couldn't get the demos done.
It's so frustrating.
Oh, it was terribly frustrating. And the fact that is like I was getting comped on those deals, and then I have to go back and tell the family, like, hey, remember that vacation we were going to take? Yeah, it's not happening because dad can't afford it. And that's not cool. So I drank a bunch of whiskey, called one of my buddies, and I was like, let's just build something that we never have to deal with this again. And he's a virtualization guy, and we do API stuff. And we just said, like, well, imagine a world where just like Calendly and AWS have like an amazing baby. You can spin up a VM with all of your stuff fully configured, all of your instructions, all of your social, all your stuff from the vendor side, and you can send someone a link just like Calendly, and that person can demo your software whenever the hell they want to, however they want to do it.
On their time.
On their time, on their terms. And if they want to, because of the way that we wrote our software, they even connect it to their databases and use their own stuff to test it out. Because when the session is over, the machine goes back all the way to disk. Everything is gone. Now, for the vendor, the cool part is we automate and optimize all that, and we're able to pump all that information from the usage off to the CRM. And I think this is really valuable too for the CISOs as well, or the people that are trying the software, because instead of some salesperson calling you up and going, hey, I saw that you read a white paper that we published, when probably you didn't read it. You just wanted to breeze through it.
Left the tab open.
Exactly. This way they can call them up and go, look, I see that you came from our website. You tried our software for an hour and 50 minutes and you played with these 3 or 4 features. Like, how can we put that in place to help you solve your problem?
Yeah. Or would you like to learn more about how those features work with, I don't know, your API or SIM or whatever?
Yeah. And so the whole thing is just like rinse and repeat and scale and scope and make it where there's no friction in the way. And if, I don't know what your opinion is, but for me, like if I'm a vendor, if my software is really legit, especially if I sell it around this ease of use thing, I should be letting people try it out without me getting in the way.
I won't take the bait on whether the software is legit.
Come on.
But I guess for an industry that prides innovation, there is also a lot of dogmatic thinking about go-to-market. So I guess my question to you is, did you have any friction in trying to convince vendors to just like let go of the leash and let actual prospects use the tooling rather than, but I have to have the SE on there and they have to walk them through the pre-scripted thing that like How did you overcome that? Because again, trying new things is actually not very easy.
Oh yeah, well, especially in the marketing side. So yeah, we still have some vendors that are like, well, I'm worried about someone getting my intellectual property. And I'm like, then don't market, just quit. Because that's what we're doing. Like, don't put your shit on YouTube and then worry about somebody stealing your IP.
Right.
You can set up all the security controls and VPNs and everything. Whatever you want to do to secure your demo force infrastructure is available. And the thing that they usually were running into, kind of like what you're saying, is, well, how do we make sure that we're going to be able to interact with this customer or client? We're integrated with all of your CRM stuff and your email and everything else. So just make it easier for them. What's been crazy for us is to see the amount of off hours demos that people do. Like, we had one vendor where they had over 300 demos over the course of the Thanksgiving holiday.
This actually tracks, because in the CISO Society, we have heard consistently like, hey, budgets were reduced. I'm doing product research on the weekends. I kind of hate it. Can you help us find solutions that match, my network environment or my needs? And that's where Confide was born from, is like this brokerage to bridge CISO Society members and community with trusted solutions. But also, I think that's counterintuitive. When you talk to any sales team or marketing team, they do prospecting, they do outbound, and the goal is first meeting, and the second goal is demo. So there's a lot of steps just to get to demo. And then if you can't make it work, you add so much friction into the cycle, and it takes so much longer. So the other reason we started Confide was sellers, we will only bring you to qualified projects, so you don't have to spend cycles just guessing.
Just hoping.
Yeah, just spitting it out there, crossing your fingers. And then from the CISO side, they don't have to spend 6-8 months, RFP, time zone, tango, demo, whatever, only to get SOWs that aren't right-sized to the problem. And then everyone hates it. Everyone feels bad.
Yeah, it sucks.
So like, let's make it easier. And so what I was going to say is, I think contrary to what salespeople believe, is that like, oh, I got to do all this like Jedi mind tricks to get them to want the demo. No, they actually do want the demo, and they run it fast. So they would much rather, if they didn't have to fill out the form and like grit their teeth and face that, they would be like, my friend told me about this. I would like to see a demo.
Well, and if your friend did the demo, they can forward you the link and you can do the demo, right? So, I mean, you can get it from that trusted. And there's the other two things that have been crazy on our back end, the analytics side, that we've seen is, one, most of the time the salespeople are targeting the CISO. CISO's got other stuff to do, like be the CISO. We'll see them forward that email off to the next person in the food chain. That's the person that actually does the demo and tries software out and comes back and goes, we need this. Like, boss, we got to use this.
Yes. And this, I cannot emphasize this enough. What you said is providing essentially quantitative data to what we anecdotally see, which is on demos, on sort of startup showcases, we'll always see like, oh, this is the dashboard for the CISO. And I always want to pull them over, the founder, and be like, the CISO's not actually going to use the tool.
They're not going to sit there and...
Yes. Yeah. And like, while they're interested in being exposed to new technology, they greatly rely on team leads who are in the trenches, in the network, saying like, this is a gap in our stack, or we don't have this covered, because newsflash, CISOs are in budget meetings, audit committees. Like,
they have a job.
Right.
Their job is not demoing software.
Correct.
So it's crazy. The last one that we run into with legacy marketers is they go, we have free trials. I'm like, okay, great. Every free trial that I've ever tried, I have a doctorate in computer science. I would argue I'm relatively useful. Well, my spouse would argue otherwise, but I'm relatively useful to configure software.
Yeah.
Every time there's download, install, config, weird thing that doesn't work, go back, research their knowledge base, ping somebody, blah, blah, blah. Like,
edge case, like, does it touch this data? What if I can't have it touch this?
And if it's the canned, like, blinky light demo thing, that's just PowerPoint. Right. I'm not actually using the software.
And I've been on the marketing side when we have used a number of different vendors to create demos on site, but it is literally like upload screenshots and put a little annotation here and there. And at the time, that was the best we had. But even at the time, I was like, I don't think this is very convincing.
Yeah. And that free trial thing, the conversion on a free trial, and you probably have seen these metrics, but like the conversion on a free trial, and this is from, I think, HubSpot and others, you're really, really good if you get 7% conversion rate, right? With Demo Force, we're over 40.
Which is extraordinary.
Like, if you send someone a link and say, try the software, they'll probably try your software.
And to your point, I think an area where a lot of software developers, founders, companies generally don't put a lot of effort is in the UX, right? Because it's fine. They're thinking about a technical problem, but the operator who has to go do the 9 clicks or the whatever, like they have to know what that's going to feel like in their workflow. Because if it's just like, oh, we are going to reduce your mean time to detection. Yeah, but you're not the only tool that they use, So if it's like it takes 9 clicks instead of 2,
Yeah,
then
and
it helps me assess whether that's like a viable product.
we have some folks where the demo is they have a competitor's piece of software because you can go get their free trial, which I think is hilarious.
Yeah.
And you can put them versus yours and you run the same scenario and you see who wins. And that's the demo. And the buyer goes, well, shit, you're better than them. I should get your stuff.
That bake-off process is like usually a 6-month thing.
Oh, yeah. They can do with us in 2 hours.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, well, we're very excited, and I have all these aesthetic dreams for the vendor arcade. I want it to look like an arcade, like neon dark and all kinds of cool stuff. But
do I need to bring quarters, like a stack of quarters?
Right.
Okay.
A stack of quarters, a Pac-Man machine, something like that.
Got it.
Maybe we'll stick some gum under the table or something. But really excited to just have quote unquote booths, just screens where people can go there, get their hands on the tooling, ask serious questions about the usage rather than just kind of the surface level conversation that you usually have with the demo. So we'll see what it turns out to be, but I'm really excited about giving the community more access to the tooling on a firsthand basis.
And we're stoked to be partnering with you guys because we think that you guys have got the trusted relationship with folks who actually say, okay, we want to learn and work together and collaborate and those types of things. So I think we're scratching the itch of something needs to happen in the market, and this is going to be a super cool thing for us and the market as well.
Plus, we're just really into stirring shit up.
Yeah, I don't mind causing problems, like whatever. We'll go back on the show floor here in a little while, and I've literally been walking around asking folks, can I demo your software? And so far, no one's said I can.
I wonder why.
Shocker.